Hey, everyone. This is Thursday Night Throwdown, and I am your host, Jason Rumble. First and foremost, I just want to let everybody know off the hook, anything that is said on this program can be taken with the grain of salt, which means at times we realistically don't even know what the hell we're talking about. So anyone that believes what's realistically coming out of our mouths at times, we got to question that. But anyways, I got a great show in tune for you tonight. Let me bring my boys on. AJP, Adam Jack, Pelly Sidewalk, Sam, and the APOC himself, the stiff one, Stiff Mike King. How we doing tonight, fellas?
All right, brother.
So,
why are you going so early?
Well, because the Chicago Bears play tonight.
Shut up. No, seriously, why? Because I rush home from work.
Why? Because I'm a Patriots fan, and the Patriots played 7:30 tonight. So
because AEW has a new time slot, Mike.
A new day, new time.
I actually watched that show last night, so nice try.
I'm anxious to see what they draw on Friday night at 10 o'clock.
They didn't do well last night.
Looking good, Sidewalk Sam. Whoever that is, I need to figure out why the names don't always officially come up so that we know who these people are. I'm going to have to utilize my tablet. And who is it?
Lloyd Marcel.
Okay, Lloyd, Uncle Hippie. He's a manager. He was a one-time manager of Sidewalk Sam. And Sam's tag team partner, I forget his name. I believe they were known as the Boxcar Boys.
Yes, sir.
So, all right, boys. We'll get into the nitty and gritty. Before we get into the overall match lineup, is there anything that stood out to you on NXT in general that maybe we could?
I didn't watch. I didn't have the chance. I didn't have the opportunity to watch.
You're just along for the ride on this part. Mike, anything that stuck out to you that was extra special, things of that nature?
We'll talk about the main event when we get to it.
Okay.
I'd like to hear the match that intrigued me the most was the Odyssey Jones and Trey Baxter match. I would like to have seen that.
Trey Baxter got his ass kicked.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yes. Odyssey Jones is everything that Keith Lee wishes he could be.
Better talent?
Odyssey Jones, yes. He needs better gear, but he's legitimately 400 pounds. He looks like he was a former offensive lineman probably for like an NFL team or college. If just guessing, not saying he was, but I would have to believe that he was some sort of college or professional football player before signing with the WWE Developmental. Very impressed by him. We'll get into his match, but I will say this: last night kicked off NXT. Last night, I will say this: I don't believe that the, so to speak, product is unwatchable, but it's definitely not as strong as it was 6 months ago. Let's put it that way.
So, just to you touched on Keith Lee. Anybody see his interview?
No.
So this is for one Jimmy Fingers, who thinks that McMahon doesn't like Keith Lee or is shitting on him or burying him or whatever. Keith Lee had COVID, severe case of COVID. Mike Kim give up her spot at WrestleMania to take care of him and risk getting COVID. When he got better and went and had an MRI, he had an inflamed heart.
Ooh.
So that's why they kept him off as long as they did. He's now better, and they're going to rebuild him to where he was before he got sick, because he was supposed to take that U.S. title off of Bobby Lashley. And McMahon, and there's no heat between him and McMahon or anybody in creative. They wanted him to be 100% better before he came back.
Can we get this interview and post it up on Gorilla Position by any chance? Is it available online?
It's on his Twitter.
Okay. So is there any way we can put a link up from Gorilla Position to his Twitter? It would be great, gratefully appreciated.
I'm looking for it now.
All right, so we get into the opening match of the night, which pit what was supposed to be Amber Moon, who was quote unquote medically not cleared to compete. So Dakota Kai went up against the replacement, Saray. I understand they're building Dakota Kai, but at the same point, Saray was on fire. And to take Saray and basically kill her fire with Dakota Kai, I get where they're going, but I feel that they could have picked a different person for that spot.
Maybe I didn't watch, but maybe I can clue in here. Maybe they're trying to raise Dakota Kai on like a championship level. So maybe getting over on a great wrestler and the fire that Saray had, maybe she had to beat somebody like that.
Yeah, but at the same point, you're taking a woman from Japan who risked her career over there to come over here. I believe they could have took like that Zoe chick that was tagging with Amber Moon or somebody like that. You know what I mean?
You mean the tag champ with Io Shirai?
Yeah. Yeah. Even though that would kill the tag champs, but I'm just thinking they could have took somebody much different than Saray. That's my opinion.
Well, I agree with that. They had Saray beat the crap. I mean, it was a good match. But did they have her put Dakota Kai over? Yeah, no, it should have been somebody else.
Yeah, I believe that. I truly believe that.
It's actually on YouTube. I got to figure out how to get it on Gorilla Position.
What?
Bro, I tried to look up NXT full show on YouTube so I could watch NXT today, and I couldn't find it.
They're not going to give you the full.
It's only on Peacock.
Okay.
They're not going to give you the full show. So then we have. We got the Ilya Dragunov demands respect, and Pete Dunne demanded respect from Ilya Dragunov because Dragunov comes out, makes his debut in NXT, the United States version. If he's to be a character in the United States, he needs to be a heel with the manager. Because right away, his promo put me to sleep. And Pete Dunne came out there and basically saved the day. But Pete Dunne's another one that talks like he has a mouthful of marbles. So to keep me interested on their promos, they're not the greatest.
Right.
Took the time to care for me that I was going to make this.
Which is why their promo got graded a D+.
Well, it's because he's from another country. That's why they really can't talk.
Yeah, buddy. But they're from England. They should at least be able to speak in a little.
From Russia, isn't he?
Yes, he is Russian, but he speaks clear enough English. He didn't know how to spit it out right.
Right.
So we have another week where, this match was ultimately confusing to me. Why LA Knight all of a sudden is on Saturday morning WWE Challenge or Superstars with a 2-minute squash match. And I understand they're trying to build with DiBiase coming out there. DiBiase looked like, sorry to say, horrible on the mic last night. It was definitely what?
That's a first.
Okay. Yes, I understand that. But to me, it was very developmental-esque. That whole segment. With DiBiase coming out, telling Cameron Grimes he deserves better, then blah, 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 and then ultimately the match stipulation being put on the line that DiBiase becomes the replacement for LA Knight if LA Knight can defeat Cameron Grimes. I'm sorry, becomes a replacement to LA Knight replacing Cameron Grimes if the defeat can happen. I'm looking at why didn't DiBiase one-up it and say, listen, we not only get the title, but if Grimes beats you, you're his bitch for 30 days. That's what should have realistically happened.
Because LA Knight's being pulled up, that's why.
Okay.
Can't keep him on NXT. He's too talented not to be pulled up.
And his psychology at working is the WWE style too.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah, he is a perfect heel for WWE. He really is.
Perfect Monday Night Raw heel.
Yep. Perfect.
I agree with that.
Yeah. So yes, that whole stuff sucked. I did not like that. Which is why my grade of NXT in a whole, I did not think it was that great of a show. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
The most entertaining part of that show was watching the date between Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis. I'm sorry. I'm not going to lie.
Wait a minute. All right. Let's back to train into the station, Fingers Jr. Did you really just say that?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I don't know what you're smoking, but I want some.
I'll give you some. The whole thing is you got to stop being a fanboy from WWE when you was a little boy and understand that the matches
First of all, meathead,
it's the truth. You do. You listen. No, you're like you're homering WWE instead of really calling the show for what it was. Mike, I'm not going to say AEW is better, so don't worry about it.
It wasn't better. I watched the whole show.
I'm telling you.
I was entertained by AEW. I have never watched a full show of AEW. There was one match that didn't really entertain me. The rest of the show, I was entertained.
So, Mike, like I'm going to say, even the first match of the night between Saray and Dakota Kai was cool. Second segment of the night, you watch Pete Dunne and Ilya Dragunov chew on their tongue.
That interview was the shits. Yes.
Horrible. Okay? Horrible. Hear me out. Then we come up to LA Knight and the Saturday morning Superstars fucking squash challenge with Ted DiBiase talking the worst promo of his life. Great. The stipulations laid down. Thus far, right there, Mike, I'm sorry. The show is a snoozer. Other than wanting to living up to the expectations of the main event. That main event was off the charts. It saves the show. Absolutely.
Who was the main event? Who's the main event?
Dude.
Pete Dunne versus
Dragunov and Pete Dunne knock it out of the park. I'm just saying, other than the main event being incredible, the Dexter Lumis with Indy Hartwell is what kept me watching the show, Mike.
That was funny shit.
I'm sorry, but if I was a first-time person tuning into NXT to hear what this buzz is about, the thing that kept me watching was those promos.
And I think that's why it's called sports entertainment, Rumble.
That's all.
That's why it's called sports entertainment.
And then, all right. Even, I'm going to put it to you this way. Cole and O'Reilly should have never touched, because when it came up to that part, it took the whole fucking thing downhill. Listen to Adam Cole school Kyle O'Reilly on the stick was the best part. Once they went into that peel away, peel off, it was very indie-ish. And that's very unlike the WWE's NXT product. Then this is what bolsters up the rest of the show. We get into the breakout tournament match. And we got Odyssey Jones, who in my estimation, if he doesn't win, and I'm sorry, I love Christian Casanova, a.k.a. Carmelo Hayes, I love him. But this Odyssey Jones, if he don't win this breakout tournament, there's something going on. That's all I'm going to say. This Odyssey Jones, by far, is probably one of the most agile big men I've truly ever seen. Fluent, very fluent in his motion. He's better than Keith Lee. I'm sorry. He has room to be better than Keith Lee, in my honest opinion.
That was better than saying he's better than Keith Lee right now, because he's not. He can be.
No. He can. He's got potential. Absolutely. Yes. His charisma right now beats Keith Lee's.
His gear makes him look like Grimace from McDonald's.
Yes, it does. His charisma right now, Keith Lee feels comfortable in front of the camera. It's when you hand him a mic that you see Keith Lee isn't as comfortable.
Yep, but that's why he needs somebody like MVP to talk for him.
I think a guy like Odyssey Jones, he cuts a great promo already. He a great baby face. Down the line, seeing a heel, like I can see it now, like I'm jumping to the future. But man, a Keith Lee versus Odyssey Jones down the line, main event match style at WrestleMania. That's two big guys. That's right up Vince McMahon's alley. It's the formula he's basically looking to build. So
what happens if they did some swerve with the breakout tournament? It came down to Carmelo Hayes and Odyssey Jones, and somehow, some way, it was a draw. If something happens,
that's horrible. Don't let that happen.
Yeah, I know. I'd
like to see both those guys. I like to see both those guys do well in this.
I think if anything, right now, Vince looks at that tournament and goes, Vince has his hands on it. He's like, I want my formula. I want my new formula, big guys, not the midgets. And if that midget context is taken to heart, we can probably expect a person like Adam Cole not to sign that deal that he got for $1 million. Because what has been speculated, I've read on a few different places that he was it didn't directly, from what I read, come from his mouth, but these are sources who knows if we can believe it or not, that he was upset on the comment that Vince made about the midgets and the small guys in that promotion, and it was going a different direction. Whether or not it's true, we're going to have to just wait and see to what Adam Cole truly does the day after NXT's takeover.
Well, is that already confirmed that McMahon said that, or is it just hearsay?
Hearsay news, but can I tell you, in past, Mike, think of it this way: how many times has Vince had that adage in his brain that wrestling was meant for big guys and he really never liked the small guys? But then again, I think of it this way: you can't just scrap everything you have, because it's going to take you 5 years to get you back where you are.
He's not scrapping anything.
Yeah. So in life, does he really? He doesn't have that many, I'm sorry to say, but quality time left I don't believe he's got time to sit around and let's see if that comes to fruition.
Yeah, I was always told like wrestlers come in all sizes and shapes. But
If
maybe
he was
with
really
Adam
like
Cole,
that, go ahead, Pilly. I'm sorry. Go ahead, finish.
but maybe with Adam Cole, maybe like he could be that guy like the last midget, the last Jedi that could really like run with it. You know what I mean?
Yep. But he has to have people he can work. I look at it this way. Ultimately, the people who pad Vince's pockets is Fox and USA. And if those executives are truly not happy with the direction of the WWE, then Vince can't have that adage because you ain't gonna go to a different you're not gonna go to a different network and think that you're gonna still have the same viability, because that other network that's going to pay you that money, they're not going to pay you that money for a vanilla product because they already know that you're not getting re-signed because your product sucks.
Yeah, I'm a bigger than life, and bigger characters sell tickets, and that's what Fox and USA want. They want to sell tickets. They want to make money. They want people to watch.
Yep.
So
I look at it this way. You know, everybody thinks that Vince McMahon is against little guys and this, that, and the other. If that was really the case, Shawn Michaels wouldn't be who he is.
Even with Daniel Bryan.
So,
listen, Bret Hart wasn't a big wrestler.
nope.
No.
Not to the stereotype of what he what he had.
Or Eddie Guerrero, for that matter.
Yep.
So if you have talent, like Adam Cole has talent, he will push you.
Yeah. I look at it this way. I'm not believing much of what I read. I take the bullet points out of so many things that are released. And if you figure you see, like if there's 7 people that are reporting sort of the same thing, then I'm not going to say it's truth, but I'm going to believe to a certain extent in my brain that this quite possibly could be happening. You know?
As I said before, and I'll say it again, Vince McMahon is working everybody right now.
Let's just hope and it's not early Alzheimer's or that he's losing his brain.
No, I think he's really. I honestly think he's really working people.
Or he's vindictive on the one of the best points I've heard was could he just be vindictive on his own and tearing things down to say to like people like Triple H and others that this is how it's done. See, I took everything, tore it down, rebuilt it. I gave you guys this developmental platform. You're still lost. Like,
they didn't really. What did they lose? I'm getting sick of hearing time. They lost. What did they lose? There was no freaking war. What did they lose? Like, that is like the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. There was no freaking war. I'm sorry. Not like Monday Night Wars.
People that are around the backstage have said that to Vince McMahon when NXT went on the USA Network to go against or to try and steal viewers from AEW, that Vince, it may not have been a war to any of us, but to Vince McMahon's ego, it was a war for him to be able to fucking throw a finger in Triple H's face if it did not work.
I'm sorry, but I think that's the biggest crock of shit I ever heard in my life. But okay,
I know, because I think Vince is one of the most egotistical, self-driven maniacs that the world even knows.
Totally agree with that.
It wasn't a war. Like you can't look.
It wasn't a war, but like
you can't look. It was like a small conflict.
How could this upstart program beat something that's been on the network, quote unquote, that had a following already? How could your ratings numbers lose to them? Doesn't basically need to be a real win or loss.
I can see where Mike
wins.
I can see where
That's
Mike's
all.
coming from. I can see where Mike's coming from. It's
I
not a
can.
war. It's nothing like WCW versus WWE.
No,
Nothing like
no.
that. Nothing like that.
I don't mean it like that. I don't mean it like that. I just think that Vince just wants to pin it off like that to make himself look good. And it gives more excuses on because there's the other thing that I'll take into account that that NXT proverbial became a bigger product to became a bigger product to the WWE
Than Raw.
Yes.
I agree with that.
So I think Vince
I'd rather
couldn't.
watch NXT than Raw.
I think that was a hard pill for Vince to swallow, Mike.
Could
So
be.
then,
For anybody, I just don't think. I'm just reading what I've been reading today and the past couple of days. I find it fucking amusing that everyone thinks that like everyone is out to burn fucking WWE at the stake, and I hear they're done. They're gonna close up. They're a fucking $1 billion company. They're not going anywhere.
Dude, if it wasn't for WWE, there wouldn't be an AEW.
exactly. So we'll get to the last couple of matches on the NXT lineup. We see the return of Boa with Mia Ying versus Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick from the get-go did not have it. This dude Boa, I like the manager. With the kabuki paint and the hair. It was freaky looking. I like that look. But mysterious by her absence was the person that they were pushing for a while with Boa.
Yeah.
What was I forget her name now? Chinese girl. So, anyways, brings us to the main event of the evening, which pits Pete Dunne versus Ilya Dragunov. And like Bleacher Report will grade this at A+. I'm right there with them. I did not leave my TV. See, this is how do I put it? This type of wrestling, if I was AEW and I was going to build a program or just a program on my own, if I didn't want to say open the proverbial can of worms to show people the weakness on some of these guys, meaning talking wise, I would book wrestling like UFC, and the guys would never talk. They'd just be backstage showing them practicing shooting and just very minimal talk, so that matches like this are what stand out. You don't remember in the back of your mind that their entertainment value as far as talking and plotting me in is horrible, but their entertainment value as far as in-ring work was freaking incredible.
So it was Dunne the babyface, or
no? Dunne's a heel right now in NXT with only.
Dude, I always, the way I see Pete Dunne work, I can see him as a babyface. The way he manipulates the body parts and the way he works, I like this. I'd like to see him as a babyface.
He's not right now. Do you watch NXT at all? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, I do. I like.
Okay, when's the last time you watched NXT?
Not last week, the week before, because I've been laid up with my foot.
So it hasn't changed. Pete Dunne is with Oney Lorcan, and before that, before they lost the other English guy, they were heels. Remember, they've been part
of that faction. Yes,
faction. I know you love to see him as a babyface.
I would.
Dragunov. See, this is why you would probably have to watch the program.
Dragunov's a babyface because he has to face Walter.
Exactly. So
I was a little off. I shouldn't have asked if he was a babyface. I should have been saying I like to see him as a babyface.
Your preference for Pete Dunne because you enjoy the joint manipulation part of his wrestling character.
That gets over with me, man.
Yes, but at the same point, he just has a face and a look when he does this thing. Like he has that look. that you just want to hate him. I'm going to say to you exactly what Devon Dudley said to me on numerous occasions. He goes, Jason, you're not a babyface. I look at you and I fucking hate you right away.
I love you, Rumble. So
all right,
No,
and that's
no,
the guy that
he's
did
got it
millions of
right.
dollars.
He's got it right. He's a little leprechaun that you want to fucking pound his face in when you see him come up the curtain. He's right.
Oh, stop it, fucking Darth Maul.
I don't know. I know he's not
little
the
midget.
most. I know he's not the
Darth Maul
handsomest guy in the world, but
Leprechaun.
What'd you say?
I said Darth Maul versus the Leprechaun.
Oh, you had to go pull the Darth Maul out of your pocket.
I already did.
It's not like you haven't. It's not like I haven't heard that before or
You
seen
can
the
get a lightsaber and I'll get a shillelagh.
sorry if I'm off, boys. It's just I apologize.
You know what? Listen, bud. Hear me out. I love you to death. I'm not trying to embarrass you. I'm not trying to stomp you in. I'm just being real with you. I asked you a serious question, and then you took in your fish, and you said, you know what, Rumble? I worded that wrong. I prefer to see him as a babyface because I, as a wrestling purist and fan, love the lost art of the joint manipulation.
And the other thing, and the way he wrestles, man, he's so great at like technical wrestling. I don't see him as a heel.
Yeah, it's his mannerisms, Pelly. It's his mannerisms.
True enough. Yeah.
His facials.
And his promos. His promos are simple enough to be a heel, also.
Yes. And with the accent and the speech barrier, I'm sorry to say, it gets over better as a heel.
Yeah, I got you, Rumble. Yeah.
So, Mike, what'd you think of this match?
It blew away anything that AEW put on, that's for sure. That match was incredible.
Yeah.
Oh, from bell to bell, even when afterwards when Walter came out, it was incredible.
Yeah. See, I'm not. AEW. We'll get into AEW in a few minutes, and we'll talk about their show the other night. You know, I'm gonna talk about it. Within closing, I'll give one analysis read because it's the best match of the night. Probably one of the best like this match in my brain leads up to the last best match other than the Coles versus Kyle O'Reilly. This is up there with the Finn Balor series versus Kyle O'Reilly, and this is up there with my favorite match from, I believe, this year at NXT, which was the pit fight that put Toothless Timmy versus Tommaso Ciampa. I thought was one of the, so that's on my top of the year match list. This match got an A+ rating. This was a very good ending to a week. There must be a reason why I'm reading this. And I'm not talking week, W-E-E-K. I'm talking week as in week episode, W-E-A-K, of NXT. Dragunov and Dunn brought it even with very little story. The crowd got behind the number one contender far more for his fast-paced offense than any words he said earlier that night. It's because he couldn't understand the words that was coming out of his mouth. The back and forth down the stretch in this contest was takeover quality, without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. This match was match of the year quality. I said it, and I'll go to my deathbed on this one. It was up there with the Cole O'Reillys. It was up there with the O'Reilly Finn Balor's. Up there, like bang, neck and neck, head to head, boom. It was clear how much Dunn had been looking forward to this opportunity. The action was nonstop, yet also driven by the story of Dragunov's unstoppable will to win. It was a shame to see Dragunov lose in his NXT debut. Another head scratcher. I'll get to what I wanted for the finish, but it was far from clean against one of NXT's best. This could even set up a rematch down the line, especially if Dragunov does upset Walter. This is another point where I wish that there was no clear ending winner. I wish that Walter had come down and Walter had left both men laying. And then it went off, and Imperium all do the thing, dun, 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 and that fade to black. That way you can keep Dunn as strong as you want. You keep Dragunov as strong as he is. And Walter is who Walter is. I'm a proponent of, like, man, if Mike's the world champion and I'm supposed to face Mike in 2 weeks, and we're telling everybody that I'm going to upset him, then all of a sudden, Pelly, you come out and challenge me to a match that you've wanted so long, and you're over on me. No matter if it's weak, no matter if there was outside interference to a certain perspective, to a fan's eye, you just became the number one contender. How enthralled or how motivated, how into it are these people going to be to believe now that Ilya Dragunov is going to beat Walter, a man who has held the NXT European Championship for over 600 days? This is another head scratcher in the WWE or in the NXT proverbial wheel of how they wrote. And another head scratcher, like I said, was the way that Saray, you built her up for so long to come in to lose to Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
With that being said, yeah, the match was great, but the ending could have been more creative with the ending, because I believe with that now you got you could return with the 3-way 2 months down the road when there's another NXT. You got Pete Dunne against Walter if Dragunov had won to say, all right, we've got bang, and that win against Dragunov next week on NXT. And you could have put a program with the 3 of these guys for the next 2 months intertwining. Like, it was right there for the taking. What do you believe, Mike? What do you think? What do you think?
Well, they're trying to get Dragunov over.
Yeah.
Which having him put Pete Dunne over kind of makes sense, and then having Walter come out and try to pick his bones, and then he's back. I understand that. The whole Dakota Kai thing, I can see why they had her go over, because she's going for the title. They don't want to nick her anymore. They should have picked somebody else. They didn't. So I agree with what you're saying. I agree with the whole intertwine of Walter, Pete Dunne, and Dragunov. Depends if Walter doesn't like being on NXT. He hates it.
Walter doesn't like being in the United States of America.
Right. So the only way you'll be able to do that is if Dunne resigns and goes back to NXT UK. Other than that, you can't. Wow. You're not gonna be able to do it because Dragunov doesn't want to stay either. What are you thinking about? Oh, you're listening to the video?
That really sucks that Dragunov doesn't want to be here.
No.
I can't wait to get there.
So let's talk about the abortion that was on Monday night.
Why? What about the abortion that was on Monday? Oh,
Wednesday, AEW.
Wednesday? All right, okay, Wednesday night kicks off. They had a trios match.
Let's talk. MJF had a promo to start off. Now, how many years has this kid been in the business? What, 4 years?
Yep. 5 years.
Imagine 10 years down the road how great a heel this kid's going to be. The more he learns from the people in this locker room. And even if he did in,
Who's
3 or
teaching him
4
in that
years.
locker room? Oh my God.
No. Let me be. There's a lot of the agents like Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and they were great heels in the Four Horsemen. Even if in 3 and 4 years he goes over to WWE
And
and
I
learns
think
from
having Dean
learns from
Malenko there, I think having Dustin Reynolds, I think having a lot. I think there's a lot. I think having Chris Jericho there to fucking number
dude.
one.
This kid's I think as a heel, this kid's sitting on a rocket.
Yep.
Like I heard all about him. I didn't see much, but after what I saw Wednesday night, this kid's going to be like sorry, Mike. I'm sorry, brother, but this kid.
It's your opinion. It's wrong, but it's your opinion.
Do you agree with me, Rob?
I do. I do, because I believe there's many more people in the world of sports entertainment, aka professional wrestling, that believe that in 3 to 5 years, when MJF truly hits his peak, that guy's going to be money, especially in the right hands. Especially in the right hands.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. In the right hands.
In the right hands, and who's to say that if AEW can't hire the right production down the road, that's not the right hands? Who's to say that down the road that AEW flops and he ends up in the hands of the creator of creators, the WWE?
If this guy gets smart in 3 to 4 years and realizes where the best sports entertainment in the world is, the WWE, he goes to WWE and gets signed $1 million deal and learns from the best in the world that's behind the scenes there. Dude, imagine if he could learn from Mike Mizanin.
Yeah.
How far he could go.
Well, he's already said his end game is WWE.
Yeah.
So I just don't. I'm not saying that he's the complete shits, but I don't think he's the best heel in the business right now, by far.
I'm not saying he's
the best heel in the business, but he's their best heel.
Well, that's not really saying a lot, but let's continue.
You're just not. You're just the total AEW hater.
I
watched the whole show. There's certain things I liked, and there's certain things I didn't like.
Listen,
I was entertained.
I was, the opening matchup. The opening matchup put the Omega and the Young Bucks versus Dante Martin and the Seidel brothers. I'll get right to the end of the match. When there was the pull apart and the fight between them, it was so indie-ish, it was crazy. Now, another thing that drove me crazy about the match, the in-ring action was, listen, the in-ring action was good, real good. I'm not going to take away the in-ring action. I thought they did a lot of good stuff.
Go ahead, and then I'll critique it. Go ahead.
And then what nerved me was at the very end when the microphone time came up and Kenny Omega had to interrupt
Don Callis.
Not even Don Callis, but when the guys are all walking away and music hits, he's having to say, well, dude, the promo's over. Stop it with your fucking ego and just sell the emotion in the ring, you fucking dickhead. So, yeah, that part I didn't like.
I enjoyed watching Kenny Omega as a heel in that match, though.
Yes.
I did enjoy that.
I just didn't like at the end of the promos with everything at the end. I didn't like how Omega had a big league and pull that shit. It's like, drop the mic, dude. The promos ended. Leave it at that. Act like a heel in the ring and stomp, kick rope. Don't pick up the mic. We know you're the fucking vice president in charge. Don't like that. They should have cut his mic backstage. But the match, go on.
So the match itself was one big spot fest.
And
That
that's
kid
what
Dante.
yes.
Wait, let me finish. That
Yeah.
kid Dante. He's just
Yeah.
a white version of Reggie. Some of the stuff that
Hey,
am I
Mike.
lying?
Mike.
Am I lying?
He's really not white. He's a dark.
I know that.
He's a light-skinned brother.
I know that. I'm just saying he's a lighter version of Reggie. How about that?
Buddy,
Better?
give the kid props. I think he's 18 years old.
Yeah, he's
No,
19, 20.
Listen, I'm not saying anything against the kid because what
Yeah.
I saw, that kid is going to have a rocket shot to his ass because that kid's good. That kid's
Yep.
really good. He outshined everybody, including the slow bucks. He outshined them all. So,
But the other two that was the other two
Let
that
him
was
finish. Let Mike finish real quick. Let Mike finish while it's on his tongue.
here is my biggest gripe about AEW. Does it pique my interest? Yes. Can they keep WWE out of their mouth? Abso-freaking-lutely not.
No.
You got Don Callis calling Christian a Stanford stooge. Don Callis is the biggest mark for himself going that I've seen in a long time. He could be great. He could be another Bobby Brain Heenan, or he could be another Jim Cornette if he just played the right role. Leave WWE alone. Worry about your product and what you're doing. Then when you are good enough to become competition with WWE, then you start shitting on them. But they've been doing it out the rip, out the gate. They've been shitting on WWE.
You were the first person I thought of when Don Callis said, you Stanford. Like, why do you have to give any attention to
Exactly.
the WWE?
And then you got the Good Brothers coming out doing a DX suck it. Like, dude,
Yeah.
get off it.
that match was poop. That match
Dog
was poop.
shit.
That match was poop, man.
That
I
was
said all the
dog
matches
shit.
were all
There's
right,
a lot.
but
There's a
that
lot.
match was poop.
Dude, I have just begun to.
Okay, Al Anderson always gonna go like this. You know, with this machine, buddy. Yeah, the Good Brothers without like AJ and the rest of them and being a real Bullet Club. Yeah, that's why Vince. I'll be honest with you. That's why Vince got rid of them. You see it right there. You see during that match, absolutely why. Like, I'm sorry, Luke Gallows sucks.
Well, why do you think they got rid of him 3 times and brought him back 3 times?
Yeah.
Because after 3 times, he ain't got it. There's the door, buddy, right there. Go play.
I liked him as Festus when he was Festus.
I did too.
When he was Festus.
That was the only time I liked him.
Yeah, Luke Gallows is nothing more than.
Let me correct myself. I liked him when they were part of the Bullet Club.
Yes.
Not the Bullet Club, but when they were part of the Bullet Club when AJ Styles had it. I liked them then. And I thought that's what they were going to do when they brought them, all 3 of them at the same time. They were going to do the Bullet Club, or they did the club for a little while. It wasn't the same like it was in New Japan Pro Wrestling. It wasn't the same.
So, all right, I'm going to read this one from the opening match because it said something that Mike said from the beginning. Whoever wrote this, they believe that the Spot Monkey match was an A. Whatever. It's a good thing that they're not rating the promo at the end because it brings it down to a C. Martin could have pinned Omega to win the AEW World title here, and the Pittsburgh fans would have bought it. He was extraordinary in what amounted to a showcase for the young star. The Elite made him look like a world beater right through the finish, where it took all 3 men to put him away. He is clearly a star of the future, but in singles or tag team action with his brother Darius, when his brother returns from an ACL injury, the post-match promo exchange was, it was not great. It was and ended with 2 high-profile. The only thing it ended with was the high-profile matches. He's not mentioned that Kenny Omega went into business for himself and had a fucking talk on the mic. I am not reading any more garbage. That shit sucked. Then we get the very entertaining and the guy who's growing on me the most in AEW, Darby Allin with Sting, and
What's so special about this Daniel Garcia guy that everybody's talking about?
I don't know. You tell me.
Yes.
I have no idea.
I'm gonna tell you something. Them and Everrise or 2.0, they're gonna be the same crap they were in NXT. Nothing.
Yes.
But I like the few submissions he put on.
Yeah.
And but Darby Allin was a way better entertainer wrestler than that Daniel Garcia was.
2.0 Everrise, a.k.a. when they were on the Canadian and U.S. indie scene known as the All-Nighters. They are cheesy 80s actors of wrestling, especially the chubbier one with the ponytail. And doing these old, 80s selling, he's corny, he's generic. He reminds me of you know who he reminds me of? One of the Rougeau brothers. That's who they remind me of. They remind me, those two Everrise 2.0, the All-Nighters. They're from the Quebec, Montreal area. They remind me of, I'm sorry, they remind me of the Quebecers. They remind me of the Rougeau brothers, of the Rougeaus. Absolutely horrible.
They are the Wish version of the Midnight Express. That's what they are.
I thought it was a decent match, though. The match wasn't too bad.
No.
But I don't know why.
We need to break your ankle.
Yeah,
2.0 to say they're like the Midnight Express, man. I like the Midnight Express. I didn't.
No. The Wish version. You know what Wish is?
Oh,
you know what?
All right, I didn't hear you say Wish. My bad, buddy. My bad. I didn't hear you say Wish. Yeah.
They're the generic version of the Midnight Express. The bad shits version of it.
Horrible.
They will last long. They'll be released. They're not good.
I don't even think they got a contract. I believe they're a team that gets paid day to fucking day. If they have a contract,
they your deal.
Why? Why would Tony Khan sign people like them?
Why? Because they came from WWE. That's why.
Because what?
Because they're from WWE. That's why.
Okay.
As I said earlier, there'd be no AEW without WWE.
There was it's funny. I'll go off kilter for a second here. That it was potentially read that with all these releases and more releases from NXT, it's Tony. You basically gave a breeding ground for Tony Khan's AEW with all these guys coming up or being released. So the one impressive thing that I liked about the match with Allin and this kid, Darby Allin's stage dive with that backwards plunge that he does.
The coffee drop?
Yeah. Yep.
That takes a lot of cojones.
Buddy, the person getting it must really trust him. Because I don't care how skinny you are, there is no way he is able to brace other than really bumping on you.
Yep. I got you.
That no matter if he's 170 pounds, that is the most stiffest 170 pounds that you're getting bumped on you. So we get to a match that this guy totally doesn't fit with best friends. I call him this. What's his name? Mark, blah, 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 Cassie, and Wheeler Yuta. You know who Wheeler Yuta reminds me of? Somebody that Tony Khan asked, hey, can I borrow someone who sucks from the NXT roster so I can put him with Chuck Taylor and Orange Cassidy? He don't fit.
I got the same impression.
He don't fit.
He's another Wish version of Jimmy Yang.
Okay. If you had a hand and you was missing your thumb and the doctor cut off your big toe to put it there, the big toe would fit in better than he did with that team.
Yeah, well, he's He just released it. What's his face? Because he had his neck fused.
Yeah, man.
Where's Trent Beretta at? Is he injured?
Got his neck fused.
Oh,
Yeah, he might be done for a while, bro.
I'm not only like a pure wrestling fan, but I'm what gets me over is entertainment as well.
Yeah,
And Orange Cassidy is entertaining to me.
without a doubt.
Very entertaining. Look at Mike. Look, but I like different things in wrestling that.
Yeah, listen, his slow thing with his hands. I'm sorry. When he did that spot with Sting and Sting did it back with him, if I was in the crowd that night, I would have exploded.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny.
Hi, Marks.
Hey, Mike, for Killer Kowalski School of Professional Wrestling, did your guidance counselor take you in the high school office and say, this is your college to go to? Or was you a fan, a.k.a. a mark of the business?
Listen to me. All right, first of all, have you ever seen that kid work?
Who?
Cassidy. Have you ever
Cassidy?
seen him work?
I believe he used to be in Chikara, and he was like, was he one of the ice cream cones?
No, he was the Yellow Beetle.
Okay.
That kid can go with anybody in the business.
Yeah.
And for him to be doing that gimmick is a fucking shame because that kid can work. That kid cannot work.
But realize, Mike,
yeah,
he doesn't have to. If he can get over for what he's doing, if he can get over with what he's doing, why wouldn't he get over with what he's doing?
As being a worker in the business, the kid can go. I've seen him more than once blow people out of the ring. Like, he's incredible. He's an incredible worker.
But what if he felt that he knew he was a great worker, so to speak, but felt without having a solid character that wasn't going to get him anywhere? And all of a sudden, he comes up with this incredible, entertaining character.
Yes,
yes. He was over.
Let's move on. I don't argue about it.
What? Oh, come on, sport. He was over. He was over at GCW.
It's like I say all the time, less is more.
Yeah.
What he's doing entertainment-wise to get over, why wouldn't you do that instead of going over and trying to do a million spots like the Young Bucks?
Yeah, I thought the match was.
It's not even that he does a million spots. He can actually work, technical work.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to though.
He doesn't have to. He's got a great character right now.
Take Cody Rhodes' balls out of your mouth and wake up.
Hey, if he was in the WWE right now, how many yellow comb-over wigs with sunglasses would you see in the fucking crowd?
I get that. I understand that.
I know. It's an insult that you know that he's an incredible worker and he's acting like a Doink the Clown without the makeup.
Right.
I get you.
I was upset. I was upset when they put who they put as Doink the Clown because that guy was amazing.
Yeah. Right, Mike. How about that's the perfect analogy? Doink the Clown could work, but because he knew he could get paid as a clown.
And then they took Tim McNeely and put him in that fucking game, which is another great worker out of this area.
Yep. So we get to Chris Statlander against
Thunder Rosa. No.
The Native Beast. I have to keep my the only transgender female professional wrestler in the world today that, quote unquote, I know of. You know that, right, Mike?
I know that.
Okay. It used to be Nicholas Rose.
Yes. I know that.
I'm only kidding. I don't know. I don't know when it happened, how long it happened. All I know is...
You really don't know who that is?
Nope.
Okay.
Who is it?
Well, if we go back a ways, and so she's probably, or I hard for me, I'm just going to say she's like late 30s, like 35, 36 years old.
Yeah.
Do you remember the series that was done where two guys went to WWE with that guy from California and
Okay.
did a WWE tryout? Well, she's the short black guy or Spanish guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's been in the business for like 20 plus years.
All right. So, with that being said, what?
All right, listen. Now, Stratlander's amazing in the ring.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nyla was not so
Seen her
impressive.
I've seen her work in person. We had her at APW. She's great.
Yep.
But Nyla Rose is dangerous.
Yep.
Dangerous. She puts Nia Jax to shame with her unsafetyness in the ring.
Interesting.
Because she's a former guy as a woman. So she still has that build, that strength, that power. Like,
yes.
I'm trying to be politically correct right now. But
yeah, she should be with her size. She's with her size. She should be dominant, and she tries to be dominant, but it's an unsafe dominance.
She hurts people.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from, Mike.
Joining us, the True Gazoo. Well, you're catching us right at the end. We're talking a little wrap up on AEW, or we're wrapping up with some AEW.
I could care less. It's AEW.
So we get to the most popular wrestler in AEW, Britt Baker. The crowd went wild for her last night in her hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Where's Fingers? I want to know where Fingers is.
Who knows? See, I'm sorry.
Hi, Chris.
We may not
Wait,
talk.
Mike, you should know where he is. You got the inside man. You know where he is. You got the info.
See, all I did was say hi to you, you big-headed fucking buffoon. I wasn't ripping on you. I wasn't starting. But if you want to go, let's play the game.
So
My
now
deck
we'll
is
get-
filled with sports.
So now I'm going to get to the worst match.
Oh, poop.
And you want to know something? This is funny, Pelly.
No.
Bleacher Report gave this match a B-.
No.
They need to be slapped for that.
The Good Brothers, who truly showed why they have been a good release by the WWE on 3 different occasions.
Wait, turn that down.
And it sucks because one of my favorite factions in AEW right now is Evil Uno with the Dark Order. I'm a big fan of those guys with Adam Page and the whole 9 yards. So it sucks. It sucks. Number one. The Good Brothers go out there. They defend the Impact Tag Team titles on AEW television. And the Dark Order, who was one of the hotter teams in AEW. I love Evil Uno. I think his persona is great. And Stu Grayson is an underrated professional wrestler also. My favorite faction, bar none, in AEW. So, with that being said, Gallows and Anderson looked like shits. And, it was not a match that was any good. Did anybody watch that match last night?
I tried to, but then I'm like, I got something I got to do.
Pelly, what'd you think?
Oh, dude, it was just. It seemed like Uno and Grayson were trying to put in their best effort, but the Good Brothers, I don't know, it was an ego thing, tried to control the match too much. And it just, with them trying to get themselves over, it just made the match just not
watchable.
It was just Forgive me for saying it. It wasn't one of the best tag matches I've seen in a while.
I think it was the worst match I've seen in months. So, with that said, we'll jump right ahead to what I believe is going to be the return of Paul Big Show White to the AEW Squared Circle as he saved Tony Schiavone's son from
Jokes,
the
the
beatdown
rip-off Damian Priest.
for the ripoff of QT Marshall and Nick Coramato and Aaron Solo. These are all people that are member of that the Rhodes family fucking professional wrestling school. Nick Coramato, I believe, was in the WWE at one time. Developmental.
Right.
Impressive looking athlete, but he's the shits.
Are we talking about another faction in AEW?
AEW is filled with factions, Pelly.
That's all it is.
Yes.
Filled
Can barely hear you, brother.
You
Can barely hear you.
Filled with factions. So, anyways, here's another kid that's the son of either a wrestler or a commentator that's now getting involved. You have Arn Anderson's son, who's now getting trained, and now Tony Schiavone's son that's looking to step in the ring.
The best part about that whole spot was he took a good bump. That was it.
Yes, he did.
Sound
What do you
any
think?
better, dear boys?
Yes. What about the Big Show returning? Do you think the Big Show returns for just a match in AEW?
The Big Slow? I don't know. He always said he wasn't done yet.
What do you think, Capelli? Does Paul White make a quick in-ring return in AEW?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
How long do you think it will last for? Will he get the bug again after 1 to 2 matches?
Just a couple of matches, I think. He was already doing that at the WWE level. He was only working a couple of matches a year. So it's only going to be a couple of matches, and then it's done.
So we get to this fourth labor of the Jericho, capped off this week with Wardlow, and obviously Wardlow loses, and now we get to see MJF face off against Chris Jericho. One stipulation that's already been laid down by MJF is that there is two. Okay, I heard one. So I guess I want to know what the second one is. We know that he can't use the Judas effect. What's the second one?
It's stupid, but he can't come out to the Judas music.
I heard that because he doesn't want the... All right, I did hear that. Because he doesn't want the fans to be able to give him the energy of singing the song.
Right.
But they're not going to sing it anyways. I don't know. That whole match was the shit to begin with. He almost dropped Jericho. Oh, my God.
It was just a match to get Jericho over. All those power bombs and him recovering and all the power bombs.
He almost dropped Jericho on his head.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, but from Jericho to get up from all those power bombs and Jericho to give him the finish, it was all to get Jericho over. That's all.
So we've wrapped up AEW. We've wrapped up NXT. Let's just talk about one of the matches right now. Well, I didn't touch on this promo. If anybody got to watch this promo with Chavo Guerrero and with Andrades, it's definitely a promo that Vince would not put out. With the way that just Chavo is like ahead of his words, it was just very. It was the production wise, it was just not put together. Vince would have shot it over again and again in order to make it look right. And I just believe
I was so busy watching he try.
I believe right now that AEW is wasting money on Chavo Guerrero to be the mouthpiece for Andrades. Chavo just got no it factor.
Never did.
No, never has.
Tried being his uncle or his nephew, and it didn't work.
Yep. So the match, their main event match for their pay-per-view on September 5th, we now have heard that it is Christian Cage versus Kenny Omega.
That should be a bar burner.
What's Christian's chances of actually capturing AEW gold?
0.0.
Yeah, he's not winning.
What's Christian's chances on Friday night, their brand new show, of getting?
The party's got it up already. 0.
What about the Impact Championship? 0.
I don't know. I think maybe like a 20-25% chance he might win the Impact just because he was a Impact champion before.
Listen,
Go ahead, Capelli.
Christian Cage, his days of wearing championship titles that have any relevance are over. He is there ultimately to try to give credibility to up-and-comers, as it were, or to try to be a holdover until some bigger angle. He is not, never will be, world championship material, in my opinion.
Yep.
But
yeah, that's what I said.
Putting a title on him is wasting. The only way he would ever get one is if he's just holding the spot for somebody. But I don't see that coming.
Okay.
Yeah, 20-25%. 20-25%.
Is September 5th the night that either Daniel Bryan comes to AEW, or is that the night that CM Punk makes the in, or is that the night CM Punk finally reveals that he signed?
No, it'll be Daniel. If anything, it'll be Daniel Bryan, I think. Bryan will have Bryan. Well, let's be honest. Let's talk, because there still is not confirmed. Nothing is confirmed with CM Punk. Punk is still not confirmed signed. With that said, everybody knows Bryan is signed. Bryan's going to make an immediate impact. I mean, let's be honest. The second Bryan walks out there, he's either feuding with Kenny Omega, or they do something crazy where he feuds with Jericho or something. But it'll be Kenny Omega. And they'll probably immediately put the belt around Daniel Bryan.
I read an article today that I don't know how true this is. I read it on a mark sheet that WWE is actually still in talk with Daniel Bryan. So I don't know how legitimate that is, but that's what I heard. And from more than one place, actually. It was Meltzer reported that earlier today. So again, they feed Meltzer a lot of bullshit. So I don't know, but they're still talking to him. So I don't know. That's what I heard. So neither one could be really confirmed. Neither one of them came out and said, yes, I'm going to AEW. Neither one of them have. So I think Bryan's going to AEW? Probably.
So there's been no social media aspect and release on saying, yes, I've signed with AEW. I can't wait to see you there by any of these
guys.
I
tell you why? It's the Sting factor. Because of what happened with Sting and how they dropped the ball with Sting.
Okay.
And Sting being that kind of wow factor. If I was AEW and I was signing a guy like CM Punk or Daniel Bryan, knowing the impact he's going to make, I wouldn't have it be known that I signed him or have him signed. I would do the TV
I agree with that too.
I agree.
But also TNT has also put out to AEW they don't want any surprises either.
Yes. So, I did read that.
Yep. They said no more surprise reveals. It has to be publicly known before it happens. That's what TNT had to put out in a press release. So
people will know when to tune in and watch.
Yes.
Right. I understand that.
Right, but let me ask you a question. Hold on. Let me pose this question to you, because there is a way around that. If you knew Mike Tyson was going to lose to Buster Douglas, you probably will tune in and watch. But if you did a build-up and a build-up and a build-up and a build-up, and you said there's gonna be a surprise coming. We're not telling for some surprise. And let's say that surprise, you had to tune in to see what the surprise was, and then you got to watch Tyson lose. More people are gonna tune in, knowing that there's a surprise coming, just not what the surprise is. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, knowing you're getting something for Christmas, but you don't know what it is.
Right. But what TNT specifically said, that if you sign somebody that's a big name, they want it to be announced before it happens. That's where nothing's confirmed yet, because TNT does not want any more surprises.
Right.
For what reason, I have no idea.
My point is you turn around and you say, okay, but when you talk to the television execs and you say, what's going to give you more ratings? The build-up to say a big surprise coming, and the fans know what it is, but the build-up to it, or, oh, hey, Daniel Bryan's going to be on television September 9th. Yes, it's going to be big, but if you build an angle, if you build it and you get the fans more and more interested, you continue to build it, you continue to build it, you continue to build it, and then you finally give them what they want, that's a way of saying you knew the surprise was coming, so it really wasn't a surprise. We just didn't tell you who it was.
No, I understand where you're coming from, but what I'm saying is TNT has specifically said they want to know
what episode that guy's going to debut on, because they want the ratings.
So they need to announce it. That's what they're saying.
They want the ratings. I understand that. So, they would have to say on Wednesday night on Dynamite, next week, Daniel Bryan debuts right here on TNT. We'll see you next week, and you leave it like that, so there really can't be nothing to be said. I get you.
Exactly.
So, can I tell you something? Not only is that a tremendous move, yes, I think it's a tremendous move to do something like that, because what if ticket sales? You get last-minute ticket sales at that arena. People who were thinking, man, I want to go see AEW, but shit, this is where Daniel Bryan's making his debut. I'm sold.
Yeah, I agree. But the other side of that factor is you have a guy like Kenny Omega, big heel moment, comes out a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden somebody comes out and says, you know what, Kenny, I got somebody that's gonna.
I get you.
You know what?
It kills that element. Because if somebody was to say that, we all know it's Daniel Bryan that's probably coming out the curtain.
In 2 weeks on this edition of Dynamite.
His computer is freezing.
It's just to come out, and they're the opposite.
It's not mine.
Don, whatever.
I know that.
Right? And you're going, you know what? In 2 weeks, you're going to be saying, what's that? What's that?
You don't got a good internet signal.
Hello?
Yeah, your internet signal sucks. You're choppy.
Yeah, it's like watching the guy from the Pepsi commercials.
Well, there he goes.
So what we're going to do, as soon as he hops back on here, I want to wrap this up in the next 8 minutes. Has there been any new news released today on some new issues concerning the world of professional wrestling?
Well, an article came out today and trying to look into or analyze the whole Bray Wyatt scenario.
Okay.
And I
saw a picture without his beard.
Yeah, that's not real. So it kind of makes sense. So they released the character Bray Wyatt.
Is that better?
They never said when the Rotunda has been released. Usually they release people, they use their shoot names.
All right. So Capelli, we got 10 minutes left. This is the way I want to end it tonight. There's been no major news broke, but Mike has brought up something real interesting, and I like to roll off this. So Mike, start over again, and we'll let Capelli roll off of that, and then me, and then Pelly, and then I'll wrap up.
All right. So I read an article today kind of analyzing the whole Bray Wyatt situation. Okay. So when they released them, they used the character's name, Bray Wyatt. They didn't use a shoot name. Generally, when they release somebody, they also put their shoot name down. They didn't do that with him. He's still tweeting through the Fiend and Bray Wyatt tweet. He's
Yes.
never not. It's never been changed. It's not, WWE's never been taken off of it. So the person who wrote this article seems to think that WWE is fucking with their fans, and it's a big work with Bray Wyatt. So it kind of makes sense because they didn't say the Fiend, they didn't say Wyndham Rotunda, they said Bray Wyatt. And then if you go to his Twitter account, it's a new mascot. Yet you can't kill it. Same thing on his Instagram. So I don't know. I mean, I just read it. Do I believe it? There's a whole little legitimacy. It makes sense. See what happens. But of course, this idiot's going to say no, and he's going to AEW, and he's not. I don't think that's happening. Continue, Kazoo.
So first off, I'm going to correct you because every time they release a wrestler, they always use the gimmick name. But just like when you go back and they release Zack Ryder, they said, we've come to terms with Zack Ryder. We wish him the best in his future endeavors. They didn't say Nick Cordona or whatever his name is. It's always the rest of Buddy Murphy. They always say, we come to terms with Buddy Murphy, blah, 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 blah. We came to terms with Aleister Black. We didn't give his real name. So, you know, with that, I think that whoever the person came up with it, yeah, I think they're digging for something. Now, with that said, I do agree because in the sense that, yes, he has tweeted from the WWE account, but you also have to remember, too, is that technically was his account, and, you know, there's probably a release clause because his actual Twitter handle before Bray was the Wyndham Rotunda, but if you go to Twitter, it's not active right now. You have to put at Wyndham Rotunda, but there is, or the Wyndham Rotunda, and it's not active. And then there was a gimmick that, and even he debunked it. There was the Cult of Wyndham. I think people were just trying to stir shit up. You know, at the end of the day, he was released from the WWE. That I firmly believe. I also believe, and it's proof, the networks are unhappy with Vince. Both networks are very unhappy.
Oh, yeah.
They, as I told Rumble the other day, both networks have felt and have said and believe that he is the other moneymaker other than Roman Reigns. And
yep.
I read a rumor. I have no confirmation on it, but I kind of believe it because it came from, you know, the person where I read it from. You know, I most of the stuff this guy that I get the info that I get from, he's been hit on it like 75-80% of the time. And he said that The Undertaker made a phone call to Vince and told Vince he needs to fix this because it'll be the biggest mistake he ever made. And the fact that, you know, the network's not happy with him and the WWE, their PR department, whatever they call it, it was the largest amount of negative feedback they have ever received in their history over anything. But this is the largest amount of negative feedback. Whether Vince listens or not, it's another story. I don't believe that he's fucking with the fans, and I do believe that if he goes to AEW, he absolutely will be showing up October 30th. I mean, his thing is over on the 29th, and I think the 31st is that Friday night show. So if he does go, he shows up then.
I think he's got re-signed, and they're just not saying it.
Why would he resign?
Here's how I think he shows up on the 30th. Everything goes, well, they really can't go everything goes dark, but they're going to have to. And when it comes back to appear, you're going to see him, Strowman, and Eric Rowan in that ring.
Yeah, if he goes to AEW, that's what I expect.
Bo Dallas in that ring, too.
What?
Surprised he didn't throw his brother in there, too.
I was about to.
Here's the thing, right? Strowman also teased on Twitter, looking forward to working with you again soon, or something like that. So there's something in the works.
Yeah.
Where it is, who knows? But,
Right.
Well,
You
if
also
I can
heard
go
that
back-
Strowman's leg is 15% paralyzed, right?
Nope.
Yeah.
what? Who?
He's
Strowman.
Strowman. He
Braun
said that
Strowman.
50% of his left leg is paralyzed.
Is that from the weightlifting? Because that's
I don't know.
it's common. I don't think it's permanent because if you guys remember the show The Game of Thrones,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
guy that played the Mountain, he's a big power lifter,
Yeah.
bodybuilder. He suffered some paralysis in the face. They thought it was a stroke, but it was due to overlifting or something like that. It's something to do with it. I don't know, but he suffered the same thing too.
Kelly, roll with your potting shots, baby, because the New England Patriots preseason's about to begin.
Yeah, well, I'm all about entertainers, and I'm a big fan of professional wrestling, the art of it, but I'm truly an entertainment fan. And Bray Wyatt, ever since maybe even not as Husky Harris, but when he came out with the gimmick Bray Wyatt, that is complete entertainment to me. And
I agree.
I enjoy the entertainment part of it. And I can't wait till he comes back in some form way, whether it be WWE, AEW, any form platform. I want to see Bray Wyatt entertain again. Please and thank you. Let me see him entertain again. But one thing, a personal thing, I've got a cat. Have any of you guys had a cast on in your life? A cast?
Sucks.
Well, yeah, I'm in one right now. That's why I'm laying in the bed here during the. But I hope, like the past week, there's been like a gap between my leg and my cast. Does that mean like the swelling's going down and it's getting better?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The swelling's going down.
Really? Pretty soon they're going to start sticking a hanger on there to itch it.
Oh no, the itching's not too bad. It's just I'm scared
A
to bump
hanger
and
or
stuff.
a ruler? A ruler's a good one. A wooden ruler.
When it starts
No,
itching like crazy, it means it's healing.
Yeah.
No, there's no pain or anything. It's just there's a lot of separation between the cast and my leg. But that means
Yeah, your swelling's going down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right,
They're
boys,
probably
tomorrow
gonna-
night,
They're probably going to put you in a new cast.
8 p.m. Let's go and do a Friday night free for all, and at the same time, I'm gonna put SmackDown on, so we'll give a live analysis of SmackDown, along with some some wrestling stuff, maybe some road stories, maybe some highlights of just things in wrestling that got you influenced, that keeps you influenced now. Maybe some big news will come out overnight. Who knows? So tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, Friday night, free for all. It's been good having you guys come on. 8 p.m. tomorrow night. So with that being said, I'm the host, Jason Rumble, the AJP Sidewalk Sam, for the True Gazoo. You can take that check to the bank, baby. Vinny Capelli for the APOC Stiff Mike. We'll see you tomorrow night with Friday Night Free for All. Have a great one, y'all.